Guys and dolls, welcome to Freedom Dad's channel. Hope you're all good. As always, Strange talking to nobody. I'm just waiting for a wee bit to jump on. Bonnie. Just need a sound check, guys. Anybody in the chat, give us a wee sound check, give us a thumbs up. Good evening, wee bit punkers. Good, thank you very much. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Hope you're enjoying the weather. We've got it to come all week, right through Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a glorious day on the 17th. Wee Mick Barb, G lovers. That's some name, mate. Hiya, mate. Yeah, it's going to be a great day on the 17th. Saturday, so it is. Just had a curry. Oh. I'm sure he's done it on purpose. I'm sure I've just told him I'm going live. It's one of my mates. I'll catch him after this. So well. Just sitting down with a coffee. Yeah, well, just had a curry. You know what I mean? Curry and fried rice from Chinese. You know. Get a wee curry halfway through this, no doubt. Yeah, good evening, James. Good evening. I was watching a video the other day, James. So I was just watching the speakers in Ireland again, just to get what they were saying, and it kept scanning round to the singing. You could see me all the time, eh? And then it was you holding the camera. Sparky, did you know where's in the village? Hello, Freedom Dad. Hello, John Capone. Hello, William Ross. Weir's in the village. I don't know Weir's. I don't know, mate. William Ross, I don't know, buddy, what you're saying there. Maybe it's a misspelling. Greetings from the deep south. Kilburn Street. Weir's in the village. Did you know Weir's in the village? Kilburn Street. Oh, the Weir's in the village. It's a long time ago, mate. It's a long time ago, like, you know what I mean? John Weir. There's a good chance, you know, well, we lived in the same street, you know what I mean? 110%. We had the Queen's Jubilee and everything, 1977, and we were all partying in the street, and we always played in the street, you know what I mean? Like I say, it's a long time ago. And, you know, not everybody went down the same route as myself. I hope you're good. Yes, thank you, M&G. All good here. I keep seeing the same videos too. Yeah, one day I'll beat you first, wee bit, bunkers. All right, Freedom Dad. There's a secret, John. There's a secret. You got to work the secret out. The village has so changed now. Yeah, William, it has. Hey, you, get out of there. Get out of there. You're going to get stuck. Move out. I know, mate. I know. I've seen that. Like, and I will be back. Yeah. Hello, Freedom Dad, and all from London. Hello, Ambi. Good to see you. Yeah, I'll go back. It was just a bit early, you know what I mean? It was because I was trying to fit it in, trying to get it all in, you know, and be at certain places at certain times. It's a nightmare. And I kept wanting to do it. I never got around to doing it. You know, I'm always in the other end of Belfast. And so we decided Sunday we were going to head down. Yeah, we had other things planned that day and missed out on a demo that I was meant to go to as well. It's non-stop, absolutely non-stop. Like, but yeah, I thought a couple of days, taking it easy. Content coming tomorrow and content coming this week. Okay, so like I say, the name of this live is, you know, our future, you know what I mean? And I'm going to sort of try and do that sort of thing this week and show you what your future is if you don't get it right. You know, it's the only thing I can do right now. Window Man, wee bit gets a call from Freedom Dad before he goes live. No. No. So what I do is, Window Man, I'll be honest with you, like, I'll just, you know, I'm not going to, because you're closer, like, but if I've got you on WhatsApp, I send a block one out. If you've bought me a coffee, you get an email. And if I get enough time, anybody that's on X, I rattle out a few there. But most people on X, I've got them in other places, you know what I mean? David Rana. Hello, Freedom Dad from Newton Abbey. All right, mate. Hope you're good. Hello, Freedom Dad. I was in Portrush and Port Stewart last weekend for the Northwest 200. Oh, it would have been good. Road racing last weekend. Met quite a few loyalists at the bikes and talked about migration. And are pissed. Oh, why was the village so quiet even though it was 10 in the morning? It was dead, man. Yeah, well, this is the thing about irregular immigration. Believe it or not, you're not going to. This is nowhere to lie. I've picked this up from other YouTube channels. These guys don't get out of bed till like 12:1. And you need to go in the afternoon, you know. And I know that, you know what I mean. It's like I knew that. I was saying on the way down, there's going to be nobody about. These characters don't get out of their bed till, you know what I mean. But as I was driving about the village, I was a bit gutted, and I just took a video and videoed the whole bit. You know what I mean, because I did see things that, you know, people hanging about. Two dodgy looking guys in a car. It was just one thing after another. Let's put it like this. That morning in the village, I met I've seen about 30 people, and less than 10 were locals. You know, maybe even less than that, because another two that I met weren't even from the village, but they were Belfast, or I don't know where they were from. I had to edit a bit out because one of them, the girl was slobbering. You couldn't make it up. Like, Linda Boyce. Hiya, love from Coleraine. Hello, Linda. Great win for the Gers yesterday, Sparky. I'm a Linfield man, William. I'm sorry, but I don't have the energy to follow too many football teams right now. But like I say, I like to see Rangers beat Celtic. You know, that'll never go away. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a Rangers supporter, you know what I mean? Not until they start sorting things out over there as well, you know what I mean? Because they're too busy gippering at each other, the Green Brigade and Union Boers, taking it on our level, man, bringing out pictures of shotguns and pointing it over to the crowd and the other side. You know what I mean? And just the whole rhetoric, you know what I mean, of the Protestant Catholic thing, you know what I mean? It's not good. We don't want to see that. When we're dealing with this over here right now, we really can't be asked seeing that over there. And that's the truth, you know what I mean? Most of the young boys don't care. They love it, you know what I mean? They think it's great, you know, all the TikToks going about and the flowers and all that. And, you know, it is a sight to see, you know, some of the things that these guys put on. It's quite amazing, you know what I mean? When they cross the bridge with all the flowers and all that, it is a nice sight to see, and a lot of effort and money's put into it. But at the same time, you know what I mean, there's other things going on right now, guys, you know what I mean? And you're not helping yourselves, you know, you bring your head out of sectarianism for a wee second, have a look around you, you know what I mean? You're Glasgow boys, you know what I mean? You're from Glasgow, fucking take a walk around your town, will you? Sick. Just saw a post saying they're interviewing refugees in Ethiopia to move to Ireland now. Originally from, okay, Linda, originally from Coleraine, was it? Freedom Dad, my comments have stopped after my first. I don't know. It's nothing to do with us. I don't, like, none of the moderators are even paying any attention, I don't think, right now. So there's definitely nothing to do with us. You got one up. You got that one up. And Linfield beat the Glens, yes. Yes, they did. Originally from Cookstown. Did you get my emails? Yes, I think I have emails. John, did you get my email? John, I'll have a wee look. I'll have a wee look. Did you hear about the young man that was lost at sea over the past couple of days? Yes, I have. Yes, there's been a lot of accidents in the sea. It's sort of regular. Good evening, Colin. There's my brother in, guys. Say hello to my brother. Yes, but I can't see anyone else. Oh, well, strange. I don't know, maybe your sentence. Go to your sentence. It's definitely not my sentence. Yeah, John Rankin saying, not us. Two seconds. Where's the dog? Come here at the back. Hey. Ronnie, see if the dog's up there locked in one of the rooms. Oh, dog's howling. As you can, I'm originally from Cookstown, and okay, I will. As soon as I come off, then I promise you, I will. It was on top messages, not off for some reason. So try shutting the video off and come back in, Amby. Good idea. No problem, Anne-Marie. I'll be lots of I've noticed a lot of people saying this in my comments that their comments are getting taken down. Billy, will you see if the dog's locked up in the room? No, mate. See if she's locked up in one of them rooms, because I can hear her howling. Good evening, Stephen. How you doing? I'd Freedom Dad and everyone else, so I'm eating a Chinese, so forgive me if I don't type LOL. I just had a Chinese at curry and fried rice. Getting wet at John, LOL. Getting wet? Is it raining in Liverpool? Surely not. Let's just say hello to each other, guys. You found her? Yeah. Bonnie! Excuse me. Quite often I don't get all the comments, only know when you read them out. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. There's John Capone, there's also a lot of messages not going up on the TV. Yeah, I gather that much, you know what I mean? It's, it's just the way it is. It's gonna, there's something coming, you know what I mean? Good evening, Freedom Dad. CAG. Good evening, Freedom Dad. Freedom Dad. Good evening, CAG. It's like, I do worry, you know what I mean? When I seen that video about them meant to be taking the weight on the train, I was like to myself, is this AI? You know what I mean? Because I truly believe that there's going to come a video, right? This is what I'm waiting for. There's going to come a video and everybody's going to share it and everybody's going to be on top of it. That's why you never see me picking on these wee videos. I let everybody else deal with it. I'm good, Mark, right? Thank you, mate. So, I'm worrying that there's going to be a video released in AI. Hello, Ronnie C, by AI. And it's because we're at this stage now, guys, where we really don't know what's real and what's not real. And that's a problem, Yeah, well, we're waiting for Elon Musk to start one up, you know what I mean, William. But what I think is going to happen is there's going to be an AI video coming out and everybody's going to think it's real and they're going to share it and it's going to go everywhere. All the right-wing YouTubers and TikTokers and all the rest of it, and then the government are going to go, see, this is how bad social media is, look how dangerous this is misinformation, this is fake news, and look how far that's travelled, we need to come down on top of all this, and then bang, you know what I mean, we'll all get hit, you know what I mean, anybody that shares it will get taken down and all the rest of it, you know what I mean, that's what I think they're waiting to do, they need to do something, because people are awakening and en masse. No two ways about it. Please believe me, by the time the end of this summer's over, you're going to see numbers in Belfast city centre like you've never seen before, you know what I mean? Just like in Dublin. And the Dublin demos are going to double in size, you know what I mean? If you think that was a big one, would you see their next one? So, that's the way it goes. The more people, because a lot of people don't know what's going on, everybody's just sitting there. Some people haven't got a clue. Hello, John Connor. Yeah, but a lot of people just don't understand, you know what I mean? They don't realise, they haven't been to England, they watch BBC News, Sky News, and read The Guardian, and the Irish News, and the Mail on Sunday in Ireland. But yeah, that's a big problem, and once people get over the initial, oh, you're far right, you're racist, you're this and that, and they sort of, they see people giving me love. This is what I think, Dream Chaser, you need to have a few backup accounts in case the worst does happen. Yeah, I've got there's a Freedom Dad New Era floating about, so there is on Facebook and TikTok. It's definitely on TikTok, I know that. So that's just going to be set up on YouTube, I imagine. I've got some friends dealing with that because it's too much for me to deal with right now, and I just do videos and send it to them, See, man, I see he's trying to get my string vest. Yeah. You don't need any vest over here, mate. It's not you that needs a vest, trust me. But no, it's like, there is an awakening. So what's happening is people come across people and they say something and it's like, wow, you're far right, you're racist, you know what I mean, anti-immigration, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody else will say it to them and then they'll maybe go, you know, have you seen this video? Whether it's Daniel Bean, Paz, British Lorder, one of the Irish boys, you know what I mean? John, you know, any of them, you know, now, anyone, any single person, any right wing, Irish or Northern Irish, English or Scottish or Welsh, what happens is they go on there and the first thing they'll do is they look at the comments because they're expecting to see loads of comments like they would be about the right, has you're just far right, you're just a hater. And then when they read the comments and they see the love and respect that you're getting, then that makes them think twice about throwing a comment down because they know they're going to get slaughtered. So that sort of changes things. It's like a psychological thing. It is that simple, guys. It's not rocket science. A person can go from believing that we're all far right racists to just reading all the comments and going, whoa, it just gives them a wee thing to think, because they're going to go in the comment and go, oh, you're just far right. They just love calling people like us out, you know what I mean? Real-time footage would surely come round. I say I'm hope more than belief. Yeah, Ben SK, there is enough evidence out there. There is. You've got Charlie Veach. You've got Willie Moore, the All or Nothing podcast. You've got one of our guys, Rebo lad. He's out and about, so he is. He's starting to get out and about a wee bit more. There's a few, Marty Bragsburr, some. You've got DJ Audits, jumps about the place. He does all the demos and stuff like that. But if you search for them, if you look for them, you'll find them. Just put in a city and just use YouTube as a Google, guys. Always use your YouTube as a Google. So go to YouTube and just Google a city and just look at the videos. You know, that's all you got to do. Yeah, it's Northern Ireland, even though Bangor got the nickname of Dodge City. Dodge City. The train station in Coleraine on Saturday, I thought I'd moved. Bit late, Johnny, and good evening, Freedom Dad. All you lovelies, lot in the chat from Vanda. Good to see you, Vanda, as always. Yes, I've been looking at them. Black Belt Barster. Yeah, Black Belt Barster is another. I was looking to say the wrong word there. Black Belt Barster is a very good channel to get your legal side of things in a way that you sort of understand. You know, he does go on a wee bit sometimes, but he has a legal head. He's a barster, you know what I mean? But he's one of our guys, to be honest with you. He is right at politics, and he calls it out as he sees it, you know, and he's one of the only people like that. Like unbelievable, like a barster, somebody that's went through private school and all the rest of it, that's calling it out as it is. There's so few out there, and these kind of guys need to get recognised. And you know, he's got quite a few following and all that. And fair play to him, you know, fair play to him. We need to be holding all these politicians account, every last one of them. They didn't put up any resistance against these people being shoved down our throats. Yeah, well, Dream Chaser, this is what we intend to do. We intend to let our guys know from the offset. Because we know it's bad already, you know what I mean? It's you know, it's a lot worse than what I thought, to be honest with you. There was a really good speaker at the last demo in Rathcoole, in the Rathcoole area, that where I done the last video from. And there was a good speaker there bringing out with some really good stats. You know, we'll try and get in touch with him. Hopefully I'll meet him on Saturday, get a chat, see if I can bring him onto the channel. I think he is political. I think he might be TUV. So I need to look into that, you know what I mean? I'm not going to back any political parties just yet, obviously. No risk, no reward. Good too. No risk, no reward. There's another good one. Anybody, any names, guys, you throw out there on the Irish side? Because I think it's very important people in England and Scotland and Northern Ireland watch everybody else's videos. It's really, really important. You know, you got Dominic Domino or something you call him. He's really good. There's a few. You guys will know them all. I will sit down and write them all out and bring them to you on a video, one by one. So you can all subscribe to each one, you know. And then you'll have loads of content to understand if you want to get into politics, you want to get into speaking, or you want to be able to react to somebody in a way that's intelligent, then this is what you need to do. You know what I mean? Go on. Yes, he does go on, but very, very clever. Yeah, that's a tongue twister, but faster. It is. It is. Good evening. Hi, Dawn. All right, Johnny, is that your way? I'm on a live, mate. That's no worries, man.
Right, Mark. I'll call and have a cup of tea after work tomorrow, mate.
Definitely.
We'll have a band practice here, so we'll have.
All right, mate.
All right, mate.
All right, Bart. See you tomorrow. Hi, Freedom Dad and everyone. Hello, Talgar. Evening, Linda. Dark Domino, that's the one, yeah. Yes, Freedom Dad. He laughs saying it. Good evening, Linda. Window man saying hello. There's Derek Domino. James Cahill. There's the Derek Domino link there, guys. So click on it now. Go jump on, subscribe, and come back. It's no big deal. Or if you just want to sit and chill out and watch some of his videos. Really, very bit of party, bit of dark humor, but very, very factual. You know what I mean? He has a way. He's got his own way. I like him. I like him. You know what I mean? I think he's great. I'd love to interview him. You know what I mean? I'd love to be interviewed by him. You know what I mean? He's a really nice. I can tell. You know, I'm a people reader. You know what I mean? He's a really kind soul. There's not a bad bone in his body. I can tell you that right now. You know. Back none of them until they have our backs. Yeah, definitely. Once you bring councillors on board, you're asking for trouble. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's not bringing anybody on board. If you know, at the end of the day, when we find out what's going on and who's who and what's what, and, you know, what are they saying? You know, then we will. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get people to get involved with this. Try and do what I'm doing. Be citizen journalists. You just got to get a phone, a wee microphone. You know what I mean? And just record. Have somebody holding it for you, and just go up to them and go, "What's your stance on illegal and irregular immigration in Northern Ireland? What do you think of the grooming gangs? How do you think England's getting on right now? Have you been to Birmingham lately, Rochdale?" You know, just those questions at him. You know, and that's what you want, because you want the people to see his reply. It's not about content. It's not about getting views. It's about bringing it to the people so the people can then go, right, okay, is that what you think? Is that what you know? Because they'll either behave when they'll just look down their nose at you and refuse to speak to you. A voter, right? This is what they do. They'll look down their nose at you and grin and smile and smirk and again, you know what I mean? Or they'll stop and they'll try and justify it. Or they'll stop and they'll say, "I totally agree with you. We don't want this here." And you know, that's what we need to know. We need to know. It's simple. It's not hard, you know. But we also got to remember the Stormer lied through his teeth to get into power. He broke 6 promises within 4 months. You know what I mean? More or less 5 to 6, I think it is. You know what I mean? Between the farmers and the adult disability carry on welfare, the heating for the old folk. There's so many. Like I just can't be asked even trying to get my brain to think about it right now, because I've sort of give up a wee bit, to be honest with you. Like, you know what I mean? And this is something important I need you to know as well. England, Scotland, please listen to me. All your YouTubers are leaving. All your voices have left. You've got a millionaire leaving every fucking second, if not every minute. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter which one, it's still horrific. You know, there's people leaving your countries, guys. You know, Paul Thorpe's gone, Danny's gone. We've got, not the day Satan, he's on his way tomorrow, he's gone. You know what I mean? And we've got other YouTubers that have went since Southport, you know. Father Calvin, you know, who else? There's a few. There's loads that have gone. There's probably a lot of YouTubers that have gone that are still doing YouTubes, and we don't even know they've left Britain. You know what I mean? So you got to pay attention to that. Your voices are leaving your country. RAS, folks, what's everyone's thoughts on digital currency? If or when it happens, very easy for the state to shut you down financially. I'll address that in a wee second. Cash is king. Do you think I can say about TR and Dover? Yeah. Freedom Dad, take a few days off after the bonfires, recuperate and come back. Recuperate and come back. I'll be lifted as soon as I get to the boat. No one Brit. What was that? No one Brit. Bimsy AG. No one Brit in history who went to Africa and demanded free stuff, house phone, etc. Then was offended and asked if they come from. Then demanded to be chased as an African and wore grass skirts. You know, it is funny. We got to laugh sometimes, you know what I mean? Because it is on the edge of ridiculous. You know what I mean? You know, it's absolutely mind-blowing what's going on in England and Scotland. And I'm going to bring these tomorrow. I'm going to do Scotland tomorrow. I'm going to do a video about Scotland. I'm going to bring some stuff to you. It's going to be an eye-opener, and I want people in Northern Ireland to pay attention to it, because this is your future. Please believe me. Mark of the Beast, Cash Society. So, yeah, good evening, Freedom. George, hello, mate. Marty Greenburn, hello, brother. What do they think? Won't give up. Okay, he's rattling these comments out. Right. Yeah, it's going to be a cashless society, guys. There's no two ways about it. I'm a bank robber. I know these things. You know what I mean? 110%. I don't know if you have noticed, there's not much money in the cash machines anymore. Cash machines are always running out. This is a concerted effort by the government to stop you getting cash out, so you can't go and use shop. There's shops now where you see the self checkout. 2 seconds, guys. How you getting up in there? Hey, come up beside me. Come on. Come on. Hey, calm down. We're talking about a cashless society. You don't care about that, do you? No, you don't care about that. So, yeah, it's heading that way, guys. At the end of the day, if you go to a shop and it doesn't take cash, what are you going to do? You know, you're going to walk another mile to the next shop. You know, they've got us by the short and curlies, you know what I mean? Unless we get the right government in. So there's so many things. They're spraying stuff in our skies, guys. You know, this isn't a conspiracy theorist. They've admitted it. I've been going shouting about it for about 4 or 5 months. I've been sick seeing it in the sky. And now all of a sudden, they've just a couple of weeks ago saying, "Oh, we're going to start spraying in the skies." You've been spraying in the skies for a month. So why are they landing? And then you've got to understand. I don't know if he's watched not today Satan's video a couple of days ago. He was sitting in a field and you could see them crisscrossing. It was like an XEOZ game. And then he showed you this guy, and like I'm seeing video after video of people out videoing, and the sky has just got lines. And this is what I can't get my head around, right? This is why it's so dangerous and why it's so bad, guys, right? We go on about emissions. We go on about cows farting, you know what I mean? But yet, do you know how many planes that they've got up there doing this? Does that make any sense? All the exhaust fumes from all these planes spraying stuff like meant to be aluminium and beryllium or some sort of thing to reflect the sun back up the way instead of, so it stops the sun getting down. I haven't got a clue, but it doesn't make any sense. The amount of planes that are up in that sky. I mean, I've videoed 4 of them in one day going in one line, and then they cross over and then they all split up and go all over the place. That's a lot of fuel. That's a lot of exhaust fuels. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. You know? Yeah, it's my mate's dog. I'm from Glasgow and it's like Pakistan here. Yeah, and you've got the Green Brigade and the Boers at it for tooth and leather, you know, trying to outdo themselves with flowers and banners and oblivious to what's going on because they're dedicated Rangers and Celtic men. That's all they live and breathe. They don't live and breathe nothing else. That and the Orange Walks and the IRA. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? Half of them haven't even been here, you know? John Rankin, that's a good shout. But we certainly don't need Labour up here. I'll bring you a video tomorrow, let you know all about Labour up there, guys. Fucking gonna blow your mind, but this one, like, not blow your mind, but a lot of you will have seen it, you know what I mean? But some of you won't. And I'll bring it together for you. And yeah. And it's, you know, at the end of the day, Scotland, this has been going on for a long time in your country, you know. It's a very dangerous place for somebody like me to live. You know, I'm up against it from my community, from the government, from the police, you know, as a far-right racist thug. That's how everybody sees you because that's what they label you. You know, that's what people think because they live in nice wee villages and there's nothing, their children are running about the parks and there's no problem. And they've got no clue what's coming. They got no clue. You know, when the Generation X die, their houses, you know, all these houses that are bought, you know, this is the best about it. All these houses that these people have bought and their kids have moved on or maybe their kids have died before them and they've got nobody to leave the houses to. The house goes straight to the government. Who do you think's going into that house? You know, there's no two ways about it. You know, I'm seeing it here. I'm seeing how it's working here. And we're paying close attention to it. So we are. Obviously, we've got a lot going on right now. So we do. And we have the 11th and the 12th of July. Okay. It's our marching season. We have competitions every weekend, as you see, one of the boys going out to band practice right now. It's a big deal, you know. Long gone are the days of the blood and thunder, you know, when the bands were just mental, you know what I mean? Used to march to the field, get blocked, march back, you know what I mean? Hardly able to play a flute or a drum beat. Totally changed. All in sync. Drums are amazing. Tips and all that are great. Flutes are tuned. You know, everything's perfect, you know, and that's because it's competition. They all want to win, you know what I mean? And I have to say, one of the local bands around here came second yesterday. I think I got beat by Raf Cool Kai, which is understandable. An amazing band. Dream Chaser Robert. Yeah. What? The cash machine, the bank, or the dog? I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, no, there's no cash. There's no cash anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? You know, you try and withdraw £1,000. Try and withdraw £3,000. You see how difficult it is. You see how hard it is. You know, you see a man in England getting caught by £1,000 in his pocket, man, they whip that right off him, you know what I mean? Illegally, of course, you know what I mean? But they'll obviously have to pay compensation for it now. And that's what you're seeing all the time. You're seeing B-grade police officers. Used to be men, strapping men, you know what I mean? And big men, beards and all that, ex-army and all that, men, you know, out of the service, used to go into the police. Now it's like the most fragile men you'll ever come across, and mostly women. They have not got a clue about the law. And they're making mistake after mistake after mistake, and the government are paying thousands out in compensation. Oh fuck! I better click this. I'm like, there's no messages. Okay. So we're going to dim the sun. They started weather modifications during the Vietnam War. It's getting worse. It doesn't, Linda. I thought that was a Chinese menu. Bimsey, Bond will receive a mark on their foreheads. Can buy or sell. Yeah, they said today the news bananas are going to disappear from the shelves because of climate change. So how come we all still get sunburnt? I haven't got a clue, mate. You know what I mean? It's nuts, innit? It's like, and this is the problem. This is what I'm trying to get to with this, guys, is this is on the same league as irregular and illegal immigration. This is on the same league as these men being pushed into our country because they're saying that we don't have enough children and there's not enough workers to fund the nonsense that they need, the billions and trillions that they need to fund the hotels, to fund foreign aid. You know, billions and billions going out every year to other countries. Ridiculous things, the most ridiculous things you've ever heard of. Honestly, I'm not into giving you all that kind of thing, facts and figures, but it's out there. Just go and Google what we're spending our foreign aid money on. Google it. Research it. It's there for you. Every penny, every country, what organisations it's going to. It's fucking nuts. You know what I mean? So no, it's we're not having none of that. You know what I mean? That's all going to stop. The stuff in the sky is going to stop because it's our sky, Ireland. It's up you over there, like, you know what I mean? But Northern Ireland and Ireland, we're different. You know what I mean? And you know, we do tend to have our own government, and we do tend to put a stop to all this, everything. You know what I mean? And yeah, I do believe, like, you know, there's so many big changes coming, and, you know, we've got to get it right because they could be really hard changes for us, you know what I mean? I think I see an absolutely amazing future for Northern Ireland and Ireland. I can only speak for Northern Ireland and Ireland, guys, because I don't have no say what you do over there. You know, guys. The Midlands is gone. You know, they've put a band right through the middle of England. Right, there's another one you can Google. Google where all, mostly anybody coming in this country from another country, Google where they settle. There's maps out there that shows you exactly where they all are, and it's right across the middle of England. So what will happen is from that middle of England down to London will spread. I don't think they'll go up north as far as quick, but they will go down south quicker, you know. And that's just, I'm talking 30, 40 years. As you know, I'm always way ahead of the game. I'm always thinking 40, 50 years. I'm thinking about my wee daughter and my grandchildren. And, you know, that's, you know, you just got to do the math. You know what I mean? Can you fly? Just got to do the math. And so, yeah, there's a lot of work to be done over there. Not so much work to be done here because we can nip this in the bud, you know. I'm in a village, we're still okay, but places there said here flooding in, yeah. Celtic has run out of town for being a new. Oh, it was hushed up. 400 million to house illegals here in Northern Ireland. Think what could it do? Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. That's floating about right now. Northern Ireland Migrant Watch or Northern Ireland Immigration Watch. That's your go-to page in Northern Ireland, guys, on Facebook. Like, M&G, that's because they are controlled now by their boys. Salty costs you a lot of things. Night, Calgary. Come on. Big up UB. Union Bears. I know, John. I know. As much as I hate the cops, they were fair back in the day. You got a slap and sent on your way. Yes. Oh, I had many a slap and sent them away. Why is that on the news? The band members are now ordered what to do. Traditions are leaving all around, folks. John Capone named suspect. Smoke signals that JC's rockets going up into the sky. No, being serious. That's how viruses are being shipped about around the place. We don't know what they're putting in the sky, let's be honest. So why would they do it? Right? Just do it. And then when everybody starts moaning about it and going, what you spit up in the sky? What the fuck? That's chemtrails. You know? And then they go, like 3 months later, they go, oh, we're going to start doing chemtrails. No, you started it months ago. You're lying again. So the point about the government, guys, getting the government right, is, we need to have a system where we can hold our government accountable. We need to have a system, unlike England, where if a government says X, Y, and Z, they've got to follow through with X, Y, and Z. And if they break any of the X, Ys, and Zs, then there's an instant, immediate general election. Instantly. If you break the promises to the people, then the people have the right to have a re-election. That has to be law. That's the first thing we've got to make sure we get right. I think, from what I've seen with Starmer and what I'm seeing with Nigel Farage, which you're all going to see just shortly, because Starmer is on his way out. Farage is going to be Prime Minister very soon. Very soon, guys. Pakistan version. Them clouds you're talking about, I think that's how viruses are being shipped about around the world. John Capone, yeah, got that one, mate. I seen that. See, the Pope is woke. Google him. I'm not Googling the Pope. See, everybody's woke right now. Anybody in power is woke. But yeah, so this week I'll be bringing videos relating to what's going on in the rest of the world, in the rest of Britain, in Ireland, for people in Northern Ireland. And obviously it'll be a build-up to our Time to Rise demo on the 17th. This is this Saturday. And it's going to be amazing weather, so I expect to see good numbers there. I'm going to be speaking, you're going to be a few other speakers there. I'm looking forward to it, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be saying too much, I know I'm going to be saying, I'm not going to be like a stuck record. I do these videos, that's what the videos are about, you know what I mean? But, I will be talking, as you know, can't shut up, can I? Click this wee button here. The party represents both Catholics and Protestants in Stormont. We are fucked as no political terms. Well, John Cone, this is the thing. This is the facts. Okay, Northern Ireland, this is the facts. Whether you like it or not, we're not going to do it apart. We are not going to do this apart. We are not going to get rid of the parties that are causing these problems by separating. Please believe me. I'm going to bring you videos. I'm going to bring you videos this week to explain and show you that how easy it is for certain individuals to get into power by using certain political parties like the Greens. You can't make it up. So like, because of the way it is, I'll get to you in a second, Irish adventurers. The way it works at the minute is you've got so many political parties and it splits the vote up. That's what the problem is in England. This is why Labour got in with 20%. Please listen very carefully. Labour won the last election with 20% of the vote. Okay? 20% of the vote. We can never allow that to happen. We can never allow a traitor's government to get in like that. That's criminal, guys. That is 80% of the people didn't want Labour. 40% of the people didn't vote at all. We learn from these things. This is the most important things that we need to learn from, is what's going on over there. And then, because we can see what's happened over there. So we just need to go back and go, why did this happen? How did this happen? How was this allowed to be happen? Why did the people, why were the people not empowered to stop this happening. You understand? That's the common denominator. They're the key goals that we need to be looking at. There's no two ways about it. Let me just catch this big one from Irish Adventurers. Feeding that, I'm from Banmore. Newton Abbey, Rathcoole is our neighbour. I'd love to connect with like-minded people from that community and start building bridges to protect their future. Brilliant, mate. I'm really glad to hear that. Come to the demo on the 17th, and anybody that's around me, ask them if you can speak to me. And then I'll just say, listen, Freedom Dad told me to come and speak to him at the demo. You know, that's all you need to say. You know what I mean? Obviously, I have a wee bit of security there, like, but you know, I trust my fellow patriots. Yeah, I trust you guys that will be there to look after me. You know, I have eyes and heads on the swivel non-stop, like, you know what I mean? Obviously because of the threats I'm getting, but you know, that's all we do. We just get louder and get bigger. You know what I mean? We're not going to be silenced. You know, that's definitely not happening. Like, you know, that just makes me more determined. You know what I mean? It's like I'm over the target. Fuck's sake. Why would I turn around and back off? You know, it's nuts. It's not happening. I don't care what anybody says to me or what, because I know I'm right. You know what I mean? I know I'm a good person. I know I'm doing the right thing for both communities, both Catholics and Protestants in Northern Ireland. I know I'm doing the right thing here, and you know, it's not something that just came up overnight. This has been rattling about my head for a wee while now, since I've been seeing, looking, being over there, being here, being there, being everywhere, and looking at my wee country from a distance, from outside. And that's where you get the insight. Well, you're in here amongst it all, living and breathing it and getting hatred and all the rest of it, and the bitterness and the loyalist songs and the Republican songs and the parades and this parade and bonfires and all the rest of it. It is overwhelming. You don't get any time to breathe. You know, you really don't, because it is non-stop. There's always something going on, you know what I mean? So definitely coming away and looking outside, looking in from outside has made me understand exactly what we need to do. And it's not rocket science. It's not a big deal. Nobody's giving anything up. You know what I mean? If you Catholics need any encouragement, speak to your fellow Southerners. Ask them what you should do. Don't listen to me. Ask your fellow Southerners, should we come together in Northern Ireland and have one party that represents us all? You know what I mean? And, you know, a political party it isn't going to change anything, but it's going to protect us all. You know, that would be the motto, I reckon, would be change. No change but protect, or change and protect. That would be something that would need to come across to get everybody involved, because we don't want to change you guys, and we don't want you to change us. You know, obviously nobody wants to change. We're stuck in our traditions, we're stuck in our culture, and our kids want to follow that on. So what? You know what I mean? We've been doing it. We've been doing okay now, right? We really have, since '96, since the ceasefires. Of course, there's been about 5 years of a lot of nonsense, and then it sort of clingy down, and it raised up a wee bit, and then it's came down a bit, and we've been running quite level-headed right now for a wee while. A couple of wee flashpoints created by dissidents who I believe are puppets. I do, no doubt about it. You know, with Freedom Dad, Lindsay, Orla from Londonderry / Derry, and all the other patriots that are coming up, all the YouTube channels, the Facebook things, the TikToks, you know what I mean? People coming out on the streets, all the Dublin protests. So of course the establishment are going to start using their puppets to try and create the opposite of what I'm creating. You know, there's what the rest of us are trying to create. There's no two ways about it. So we have to be aware of that. And I fear that. I fear that so much, because I fear the government more than anybody in the world. I really do. You know what I mean? And I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say. I don't care. Whatever you think about me or what I'm saying, if you think I'm a traitor, or if you think I'm a Catholic lover, if you're a Protestant, or if you think whatever, if you're a Catholic, you just don't like me because I'm a Protestant, I don't care. I really don't care. All I care about is the future of our country, our country. And while you're shooting at me like that, I'll still be motoring on, trying to find a solution, and trying to show people that there's only one solution to our problem, and that is coming together in a political party that represents the Irish people and the Northern Irish people of this island, and building a border that nobody's going to penetrate. You know, that's it. You know what I mean? You get a border. You know, we can sort anything else out. You know what I mean? I do believe, you know, as we go forward, you know what I mean, things will change. There will be changes. There's no two ways about it. You know, I don't think our kids will have the heart for what we are doing and what we've been through. We're a different breed. We've lived this conflict. We've been through this conflict, and the government are relying on that. They're relying on us, Generation X, slipping off, and then they're going to run riot with our children and our grandchildren. And I do believe this place will look like Birmingham, Rochdale, Rotherham, Oldham, Halifax, and the rest, you know. And we can see them bring them in now. There's nearly 2,000 last week, 1,600 or something, 1,800 came in last week on the boats, just the boats. And I've told you the boats is a small minute. The boats is tiny to what's coming in, tiny. The government love what's going on about the boats because they're chuckling away to themselves because we're going, oh, there's no 1,000 in this week. And there's 10,000 coming in a week everywhere else through universities, through planes, through boats. You know what I mean? They're finding like passports stuffed down toilets and passports getting thrown over boats as that's coming in the dock in England and France or wherever, you know what I mean? Which all roads leads to us, you know. All roads seem to be leading to Southern Ireland for some reason because in the state of the Southern Ireland right now, I told people the day after the election, 1987, either you or your children will work at this. Yeah. Definitely, and this is a problem. Some guys just don't care about the future. They don't care what problem their children and their grandchildren have because they're stuck right there, and they will refuse to acknowledge each other. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. If we can't get these guys to even turn around and look at each other, how are we going to get them to talk? You know what I mean? I just hope the right people in the right places understand that what I'm saying is the most important thing that they've probably heard in their lives. And, you know, I know that's a big statement to make, but, you know, I genuinely, in my heart, I do believe that the words I'm speaking out right now in Northern Ireland are the loudest and most strongest words any of our people on either side have ever heard, and you need to pay attention to it, you know. And I need other guys. I know it's difficult for these guys in the Catholic communities, you know what I mean? It's difficult for you because the way it is, you know what I mean? But, you know, we're getting there, you know what I mean? Our communities are starting, you know, we've always been like this, to be honest with you. You know, obviously we get our fractions and our clashes at our certain points in Northern Ireland, Belfast, where the borderlines are between the two certain hardcore areas, you know what I mean? You know, them sort of areas will always be the last to come to terms with things, you know, because they're on, you know, you got to remember a lot of people live in Protestant and Catholic areas that aren't really adjoining to each other that much, you know what I mean? And if they do, there's never been any problems. So it's a lot easier for them. But sometimes, you know, my feeling is some of the hardliners who we need to convince are in these areas that have been battling against each other for years, you know, and only they know the battles that they've been having. You know, it's no, I know, you know what I mean, because I lived in these areas, you know what I mean, but not everybody understands that, you know what I mean, unless you know these guys and know what they've been through for the last 30, 40, 50 years on these flashpoint areas, then it's difficult because a lot of hatred coming from both sides, you know what I mean, and like, you know, you can't just blow the flame out. It doesn't work like that over here. More accepting. Sad part about the Catholic community is they are more accepting of this invasion. Just drive along the Antrim Road from Fort William to Carlisle Circus. It's literally spot the white guy. But this is, you know, I'm not going to hold this to you can't hold that to the Catholic community, you know, not just yet, you know what I mean? Because look at our areas, look at my area, South Belfast, the village. Look at Sandy Row and the Shankill. Look at the problems that they're having. The Lisburn Road, that's South Belfast more or less as well, you know. Anywhere next to the city centre is going to be overrun, you know, because that's the way they work. And I don't understand. This is what I don't get as well. They're building apartments now, apparently, for them in Belfast, and there's loads of IPAS centres going up. International protection for refugees is going up all over Ireland. I've seen videos. We coffee, mate. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of videos going up about a lot of places getting built, and I don't understand this, guys. To buy a house or live in the city centre has always been, in any city, quite expensive. How come all these people are getting put into these places? You know, how come every city centre, everywhere, is full of illegals or immigration or irregular immigration or refugees or whatever you want to call it? You know, people that I believe, don't have the right to come in and just be given freebies, just because they've came through 4 or 5 different countries to get through England to get here. I know there's a whole load of different refugees, but the problem is we're not seeing any women and children. We're just seeing fighting age men coming over, like giving it the old ISIS thing and all that, and we were here to stay. And you seen the video of the black girls, the Dublin girls, they got Irish citizenship. I'll be bringing that as well this week, and they're all waving it at the camera, going, "It's not your country anymore. We're taking your country. You've lost your country," and giving it all that, and just a lot of nonsense, really. But it's a bit of an eye opener for the Irish. Yes, I believe that, William Ross. Jesus is coming back very soon. It's really bad down here in the south, folks. Seriously, go spend a day in Dublin or anywhere and see for yourself. You don't want this up there. You guys deserve to be living in peace. Thank you, Sean. Charlie Treston. Hi, Freedom Dad, and hi to all. Hello, Charlie. You're talking a wee bits. You're right, Freedom Dad. Ask a lot of Catholics in the north to come here to Donegal. Might get a shock. Wait and see. So, the problem is there won't be too many Catholics listening to this, you know what I mean? And because of who I am, but, I don't know what else to say. I'm hoping that other Catholics pick up on it and are listening, 1 or 2, and maybe start doing something like this themselves, you know what I mean? Like I say, it's difficult. It's not easy. It's a dangerous game. But you've got to have faith in yourself. You've got to have faith in what you're saying and believe what you're saying. And, I don't want to put anybody in any danger, but it is really dangerous. But, what do I do? Do I walk away? Do I go and move to Poland? Russia, you know what I mean? Somewhere where I know my Christian values are going to be respected and protected, because the Christian values in England aren't being protected. You know what I mean? You see what they're doing to Christmas. You can hardly see Easter on an Easter egg. What happened to Easter eggs? I don't know if you've noticed it. I think Cadbury's was the only one that had Easter, and they had it right at the top. A wee small Easter egg. The front of the Easter egg. If you walk down the shop, you'll not see Easter egg. It doesn't say Easter egg anymore. So, that's enough for me. You know what I mean? Fucking never mind anything else, to taking Easter out of schools and not able to say Merry Christmas and no having your kids dress up as Joseph and Mary. No, Easter eggs is enough for me. You take more Easter eggs away? Nah, it's not happening. And I'm not being funny. I'm being deadly serious. Because we don't need to go any further. This is the problem. We sit back and just go, I have to take Easter egg away from the Easter eggs. Oh, we can't say Merry Christmas anymore. Oh, kids can't celebrate. There's no Christmas celebrations in school. Any Christians in school have got to go out somewhere to a church and do all that, we can't offend Islam. Or there's too many Muslims in the school now, so that's Christianity's been pushed right out. No, it's we're not doing that here. That's not you're not attacking our whether you're Catholic or Protestant. You're not attacking our faith. You're not attacking our schools. And you're not taking away Easter from our schools. You're not taking away Christmas from our schools. I know that for a fact. I know what people will do. One sugar, bro. Put the milk in first, will you, son? Oh, cheers, bro. So I know what the Irish are saying. Okay, I know what people are saying. I know what direction this will go in, and it's not good for nobody. Please believe me, it's not good for nobody. So that's why it's so important we get it right, because this is Northern Ireland. We've been fighting for years. When we stopped fighting each other, Protestants and Catholics, Republicans and Loyalists, then they started fighting each other. Loyalist on loyalist, Republican on Republican. I can sit and name you straight off the top of my head 20 loyalists that have been killed by loyalists, and I'd probably name 10 Republicans that I know that they would probably say weren't Republicans, but they were dissidents, the real IRA and all that, and then you had that DADD running about killing everybody. We know them. We know what was happening, you know what I mean? It was mental. It was nuts. We all called ceasefires and then carried on and causing each other all sorts of problems. So it's the way the world is in Northern Ireland. That's the way we are. And it's worrying me, because I don't want to see our men going to jail. Thank you, son. I don't want to see our men going to jail. I don't want to see any more troubles in the street, you know. But I know for a fact that this isn't. It's going to take one thing to go wrong in this country. One child of the wrong person to be abused, and all hell will break loose. Please believe me. And, you know, they will fill the jails. You know, men will fill the jails, and they will build more jails, and they will fill them jails. And it won't stop. The men in Northern Ireland starved themselves to death. They starved themselves to death, you know. Both sides were on blanket protests. I've seen the type of protests that go on. I've seen the heart of the men in this country, both Protestants and Catholics. This is not a country you mess about with. You know, it definitely is not. And this isn't being threatening or provocative. This is freedom, Dad. Freedom of speech. My opinion of what I see and what I hear. When I told you when I went down to Ireland, what did I tell you they said? They said we'll burn our houses before we leave them. That's what they said. That's the Irish. That's the fighting Irish. This is Southern Ireland. You know, so please believe me. I'm trying to avoid all this. I'm trying to avoid what I can see coming to our wee country, you know, and to Ireland, you know. And the problem is that the security services are ready. They're ready. They've been doing this for 40, 50 years, just like us, but they're better than it because they keep records and learn all the time, whereas we can't keep records. We have to pass information down as we go on about how the intelligence services work and how the police work, how they behave in the police, how, you know, interview techniques and stuff like that. It's not like you can have a spreadsheet on your computer about all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean, where they can, you know. So yeah, it is concerning in so many ways, you know, like as you know, the way the British are trying to, the English are trying to antagonise you out onto the streets and stuff, because they want you out on the streets so they can beat you with batons and arrest you and put you in jail and then ban you from using the internet and all the rest of it, you know. The true king is coming. Are you ready, folks? We are ready, so we are, William. Take city first and you have no claim to land, yeah. Thank you, Big Bass Bomb. Thank you for that, mate. There's more Catholics listening than you think. Keep going, brother. Sorry. Use AI, John Rankin. James, what do you... Oh, you're talking to James. Okay. Letterkenny's nickname, Letterkenny. I know. I've heard all these. There's so many names like that going about right now. Schools don't have nativity plays anymore. Well, some of them. Dream Chaser, I'm a Catholic and I'd stand by Protestants here against what's being shoved down our throats. And like, I'll be honest with you guys, like, you know, like I say, I spoke to the guys yesterday, like, I don't know, it was like over 20 guys, right? And they were, build a bonfire and that, because they're big bunnies, they take a long time to build, you know what I mean? So, and I was speaking to the guys yesterday, and like, to be honest with you guys, these are prods, these are proper prods, you know what I mean? And you've got no problem here, guys. Catholics, you got no problem with our community. I'm telling you that now. Our communities, we are ready, I truly believe, to communicate, to stop what's happening in Scotland, England, and Wales, and to try and help Dublin and Southern Ireland. We can't ask the Catholics to come together to form one strong, united political party to stop our cultures being destroyed, both our cultures being destroyed, and we would have it, and we would have policies, we'd have treaties, we would all, our politicians would all sign like promises, and it would all be done right. There would be no going back, and there would be so much respect. You know, the vision I have, the way I see, it's amazing. If it was done, it would be so beautiful. It would be one of the most beautiful, peaceful times in this country. You know, Christians coming together, no seeing any difference between Protestants and Catholics, just Christians, you know what I mean? And it's not about mixing in all areas. We need to stay in our own areas. We do our own thing. You know, you Catholics may want to learn about Irish language where we wouldn't, you know what I mean? We want to, you know, carry on our bonfires. We're not saying that you wouldn't be welcome in our areas. Of course you would, but I just don't think it would be for everybody. I think it would be too much, too soon, you know? I think the kind of thing that we're looking at is just to be able to look at the same leaders. That's it. You know, we're not asking for anything else. We're just asking for a group of men and women, mostly women, I would like to think, above us, that we all agree we want them to lead us. We want them in our parliament. We will vote these people into power. We want her or him as our first minister. That's it, you know. And then once we get in the power, then we can do the changes. Then things can change. Then we can start closing the borders. Then we can say to Britain, you know what, we don't actually need you because you are nuts. What you have done to your men over there, trying to do it over us, to us. And then we'd be saying to Dublin, but I think the Irish will sort Dublin out. I really do. I can't see like a time. And please believe me, this is another thing. Let this be a warning to the Irish government. Us Protestants in Northern Ireland will go dual citizenship. We will go dual citizenship and support the Irish people and vote for the people that the Irish people want. Because if you give us that right on the Good Friday Agreement that we can be both Irish and British, then we will be both Irish and British. We will play the game, the same game that the government's playing with us, same game that Starmer and Macron and all them are playing in Germany and Biden's and all the rest of them. We'll play them games. It's not a problem. We'll step up. We will step up to play that standard of a game. Please believe me, I know that in my heart. We do what we're told, and we have good guys that, you know, we both maybe. I have faith in certain areas, in Republican areas. There's certain areas, I'm not going to name them, that are bad, that have gone. Catholic areas that have, I don't know whether the IRA or the Republican movement have give up, or gangsters have taken over, and it's just drug dealing now. It's just drug dealing on another level, and so that's a problem. You know, that's a big problem. You know. I don't know what to say about that because, you know, I'm quite shocked at what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from the people. To be honest with you, I never thought I'd see that day, you know. I know Dublin had their problems with the serious drugs back in the day. You know, Scotland's always been a really bad place, like, you know, I mean, so most major cities, but Belfast has been pretty much left alone. Like I say, we were throwing 9 bars of weed in the fire back in the 90s and all that, and like, you know, we didn't tolerate even a bit of weed, you know what I mean? And even to this day in my communities, like, you wouldn't be able to just go out there and get any weight. I'm fucking telling you that now, you struggle to get a bit of weed out there, guys. You know, please believe me. You know, it's our communities. You know, we do not want our children being around anything like that. So we will not. None of our families will tolerate that. And it's not about being paramilitaries or anything. It's about families, men and grandfathers. You know, finding out somebody's doing something and when their children's running about there and there's guys jumping about selling something crazy. You know, it's not happening. It's not happening. I don't care what anybody thinks about that. You know what I mean? I think that's okay because at the end of the day, why is there so much drugs in our country? You know what I mean? I could stop it. If I was in charge, I'd stop it like that. You know what I mean? How do you stop drugs? You hammer the drug dealers. You hammer them. You don't mess about. You know, you follow the money and you follow the big guys. And when you get them 25, 30, 40 years. You put them away for the rest of their lives. And, you know, they always say, well, you put one drug dealer away, 10 drug dealers replace them. Not when they're getting 50 years. Please believe me. That's a different story altogether. The reason why there's so many drug dealers replaced the last drug dealer is because there's hardly any sentence. You're selling like some heroin or crack or any other mad drug out there to anybody, then you're culpable. To anybody that dies of an overdose, you're culpable. You're culpable. It's culpable homicide as far as I'm concerned. It's manslaughter, whatever you want to call it, and you deserve to be lifted off for it. There's no two ways about it because you've got your hand, you're involved in the death of another man or boy or girl or child or whatever. You know what I mean? Just one of them, then you're away. And that's how you stop it. That's how you think all the atheists got through life. So freedom to how you think all us atheists got through life. Got through life. Got through life. Atheists got through life. You're not through life yet, mate. You don't get through life until you die and get judged. Then ask me that when you see me up there or wherever. Like I say, guys, if I go before you, I will have a wee word at the gatekeeper. I will. If I see you, I'll be saying, listen, He says he was an atheist and all that, but he's just, I don't think he understood, you know what I mean? Because you will understand, one day you're going to go, shit, you know, I should have listened to Freedom, Dad. That's too hot down here. Oh, joking. Listen, you know my views, you guys, you don't need to be a born-again Christian. You just not, there's two types of people in this world, good and bad. You know what I mean? And when you die, you get judged. Okay, you go to the gates of heaven and you get judged. And that's that. Every one of us gets judged. And every Christian, born again Christian, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that say they're Christians and they're not Christians, and they're going to be judged, you know. And there's a lot of people out there like yourselves that go, I'm an atheist, but really, these are kind-hearted souls. You know, you need evidence. You are logical thinkers. You need to see miracles. You need to see God come down and go, I'm God. You know what I mean? That's why you're atheists. You can't believe there's so much heartache and suffering in the world if there's actually a real God. You know what I mean? But I try and explain all that to you. It's about faith, and if it was so simple and easy, and if we could see what was really happening, then we would behave appropriately. We need people to behave without the faith. You need to have the faith. You need faith to grow in you, etc., etc. I see some use atheists as like children, because children, all children go to heaven. You know, there's no two ways about it. I see some use atheists as like children. You know, I really do. So I wouldn't be too disheartened. I would advise you to look into it a wee bit more, you know. I thought you would take me as a good example, you know, everything I've been through, you know, I mean, I've still got so much faith, you know. So this is sadly the truth, John. Some of us can do more than others, but at this stage, even just sharing information is something, if you get me, mate. Yeah, definitely. Can't see radicalism is so friend of anyone. Tommy Robinson, salary for 6 months while Axel was free to attack prisoner guards. I know. Fighting Irish, absolute fantasy, for fuck's sake. Sorry you feel like that, mate. William Ross, food going up, everything going through the roof. What happens when we go into a third world country? Our country is heading fast towards that. Yeah, but this is the point. I really do believe it's all done on purpose. The reason why we're all struggling is because if you're struggling, you're not bouncing about, you're not looking about, you're not paying attention, and you're struggling. You got your head down. You're working hard. You're looking for overtime. You're trying to get food on the cheap so you can put a wee bit of money away for a holiday or for some clothes. Got to go. Saved it for later. No problem, Business. Too late to wake up when you're surrounded, yeah. Yeah, Marty Greenburn, you do, man. But we are being watched, like, there's no two ways about it. If my aunt had balls, she would be my uncle. The lefty commies love to protect the indigenous Amazonian tribe, but not if you're British white. Irish aunts have more balls than Irish uncles. Right, let's not get into a gender warrior, guys. James, if your granny had balls, she'd be your granddad. Silver Lady, why don't you do something before a child gets killed? Why wait? Look at the seafront with invaders watching our children. Makes me sick, and women are not safe. So men, we need yous now to help kids. Yeah, see, this is the thing. We can't be taking that sort of stance, you know. That's not going to help anybody. It didn't help the IRA, that's for sure. When they bombed Omagh and Enniskillen, it more or less brought the IRA down. They lost all their support from NORAID, which was the charity in America that made them millions and millions, and they lost a lot of support from the rest of the world. And you know, the thing is it has to be political and it has to be peaceful. You know, there's no two ways about it, guys. Stop playing wee boys games, building bonfires to the government's requirements, and get out on the street. Stop taking government bribes. Government requirements, that's a new one. Is that a real picture going about of Hammer Macro head around the table, snipping coke, or is that this AI technology? I think it's real. If you want to check it out properly, go to Craig Houston. Go to Craig Houston. If somebody wants to throw the link up to Craig Houston's video, he does, I think, the best explanation of it, and he has the best footage. So, you know, I did think it was AI, but since I've watched Craig Houston's footage, I'm convinced it isn't AI. we know Zelensky's definitely we know he's definitely a hingy, you know what I mean, cokehead. We've seen him, he's like, look, I non-stop, man, forgive me, everybody knows that. So yeah, it's quite interesting that they were coming from Ukraine. You know, I know it's Zelensky going, here, get that in your neck, boys. You know, it is what it is. It looks what it is, you know. There's a saying, guys, you know. Joan Capone, I sent it to Freedom earlier, but yes, I wondered, but I'm leaning it's real. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go with it's real, guys. I am, and I wouldn't only put my neck on the line like that, you know, because I am worried about one of these videos coming back and biting us all in the arse. We got a beating on the bus in North, you know who by, don't you? Yeah. I've just seen that one. Stop M and G. Stop dictating, Freedom Dad. Dictating. That's spelt wrong. Dictating. If there is a God, he's... Yeah, I'm not going to say that. We bunkers, that's what we have to look forward to. Didn't see any men stopping. I'm atheist, as with over 51% of the UK. Well, everyone to their own. Freedom, Dan, I think you should keep your hobbies to yourself. They need to repent of their sins. Rank and take a joke. That's right. No, come on, M&G. No, there's no need for that. It's definitely a cook spoon. 100%. Yeah. Well, not 100%. It does look like it, guys. 100. It does look like it. No doubt about it. And the way he behaved with that little bit of paper, you know what I mean? That was definitely a rap. Come on, guys. That was a rap, you know. To be honest with you, I don't even know if they do them like that anymore. But yeah, from back in my day, that was a rap. It's like a wee envelope in it. People have been saying it's, yeah, 100%, yeah, definitely. But like I say, guys, I don't have all the answers. I'm not here to dictate. You know what I mean? I'm talking about my opinions and what I believe, and that's it. You know what I mean? The good thing about YouTube is you just got to flick off, and there's loads of content creators. And I'm not being funny, you know what I mean? I'm not being snidey or nothing, but it is important that you get the right people to give you the right information, you know what I mean? There's no point like having a go at people, you know, sitting on a platform having a go, you know what I mean? Because there's shitloads of people out there. There's better content creators out there. You know, like I say, there is not so many in Northern Ireland. Unfortunately, there's one. I think he's Northern Ireland. Sure he's Northern Ireland because he said he lived in Belfast. Can't mind his name. It's like All or Nothing, something like that. People have been, yeah, if anybody can put his name up there. He's Zelensky must be loaded, all the billions being sent. People have been, yeah. Not Billy Moore. Not Billy Moore. He's no risk, no gain. Thank you, Marty. No risk, no gain. So somebody throw a link up for no risk, no gain. He is really, really good. He is really, really good, guys. You know, it's definitely worth a watch. We have a Nigel Farage type here, Herman Kelly. It's all about him and not the cause. Yeah. See, like I say, I'm just here to let you guys know what you need to do, and hopefully you pass that out. I'm doing my best amongst my community, and I'm putting myself out there, and I'm available for anybody to speak to in my communities. And if anybody wants to come from the other community and come into my community and have I can guarantee your safe passage and safe and whatever, you know, 110%. I would never put anybody's life in danger or anybody getting hurt. And, you know, I could quite confidently talk to the boys and say, I've got a guy coming in, I'm going to interview him. They'd be wondering why I would even be telling them, you know what I mean? But, you know, like I say, there wouldn't be, this is what we're like. A lot of people don't realize that, but we've also got to be careful, you know what I mean? Because we still have a lot of people who hate us, and we don't want people coming into our areas and taking advantage of, you know, knowing our streets and all that. We're still a wee bit thingy about stuff like that. We are still a wee bit nervous, you know what I mean? It is very difficult going forward like this. And like I say, I don't speak for everybody, you know what I mean? Not yet, not yet, but I'm working on it. I really am working on it, guys. Yeah, thank you, James. There you go. If you jump on the James Cahill, click that link, go and subscribe, and you can come back. And then you hit the bell. You'll never miss one of us. Definitely, guys. Definitely worth checking out, I promise you. And I haven't even got a clue if he's a Protestant or a Catholic or anything. I get a vibe that he's a Catholic, you know, just with the dark hair and everything. I'm sorry, but that's the thing about us boys in Northern Ireland. We sort of can tell each other apart a wee bit, you know, and it is a bit strange. No risk, no reward. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Freedom Dad, that's pot stirring slobber. Stephen Nolan, not been on with you, looking an interview. I would rip him too. Don't even start me on him. Please don't start me on him, because I've got stuff to bring about him, of what he's done to one of our kids, you know what I mean? And I've got the guy ready to interview that he done it to. I'm just trying to make sure he's okay, because there's a lot of mental health at play here. There's a lot of other problems at play here. There's paramilitary stuff involved. There's it's mental. When I bring this story to you, you are going to be shocked at what Stephen Nolan did to one of our young guys. You know, absolutely horrific what this man has done. He shouldn't be allowed in telly. And if I ever see him, he will know who's in front of him immediately. And I'm not threatening him, and obviously I'm peaceful. I'm a Christian, but you know, I know how to use my words, and I will not miss that man. Please believe me, because it's close to me, this one. You know what I mean? Very close to me. Sorry about that, guys. You're doing a great job, Freedom Dad. Love all your content. Thank you, M&G. RS, I was surprised Freedom has turned up at Freedom Dad's house with a microphone. FD's house. So, sorry, I might look at that mixed up there a wee bit. No worries, John. Now then, everyone. Up the military police. Nolan. Yeah, he's from, no, oh, right, that's somebody else, is it, you're talking about? Is that an Irish guy? Because this is a Northern Irish guy that does the TV over here in Northern Ireland. Paul McCowan. Nolan's no good. No, yeah, probably get mixed up a wee bit. You know what I mean? Whoever the other Nolan, you kind of let him know that's not him I'm talking about. But yeah, no, there's a few unsavory characters out there, so there is, you know what I mean? And you know, at the end of the day, this is what citizen journalist is all about. You know, you get a phone, your microphone, you can be a citizen journalist. You know. Marty, I know, Marty, it's difficult. We've got to do it ourselves, guys. We are the media. You are the media. We all are the media. We've got to get the word out ourselves. The media won't do nothing for us, so we've got to do it for ourselves. So it's all about share, spread, talk to people, get them on TikTok, get them on YouTube, get them on X, and it will be there. Time to Rise, 17th, Saturday, 2 p.m. outside the City Hall. This Saturday at 2 p.m. outside the City Hall. And please believe me, there's going to be a huge counter demo, you know, because they're going to be expecting big numbers. So they're going to up their game. They will up their game, because they need to shout there's many more of us than you. Okay, so this is the goals. All we want to do is shut them up. We don't even want to shout back. You know what I mean? We just want to shut them up so they can't shout that anymore, because they're paid actors. They're council workers. They're trade unionists, and some of them have got mental health issues and they don't even know where they are. You know, they've just been taken out of wherever they are and they've been placed there. And all you got to do is go and have a good look. So what I want all you to do, guys, is we're just given that, what do you call him? Was that Nolan guy? What's his name?
Who?
Nolan guy done that. Stephen. It's just fucking ripping him in the arsehole there. It's Stephen Nolan, guys. I'm talking about up the paid counter demo. All right, Revo lad. How's Revo in? Where is he? There he is. All right, what's just talking about you, mate? Protest in court will be massive. Yeah, don't think I'll be going to that, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not risking it. Hi, Baldy Loaf, if you're watching. 2 seconds, guys. I'm going to get a wee fag, man. My nerves are, obviously, I'm no stopping smoking just yet, not with everything that's going on. Well, you just say hello to yourselves. I'm just going to go and leave you to it. But, thanks for coming on, guys. 87, great numbers, 52 likes, amazing. Wow. you know, and you know, like the videos are getting good views. The Valleys one, that was hard. That was a hard one, by the way. And I need to say as well, I need to tell you this, right? I could have been there another half an hour to an hour showing you the bombs, right? I just showed you the ones that were right around my house, you know. I could have took you that way 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes and showed you where they blew up. You know, I mean, the laundrette. I could took you 5 minutes the other way and show you where they blew up the cinema, and then it was turned into a carpet factory. They blew it up, and then it turned into something else. And they just kept targeting this building for some reason, just because it was one of the biggest buildings in the Donegal Road, and it looked quite nice. It was a cinema. It used to be a cinema. So it was just like I say, they would go up the Donegal Road with the bombs. Oh shit, roadblock. Spin right back around again, and they wouldn't go back because most of these bombs back in them days were timers. You know, they were like alarm clocks. That's how it worked. You know, I'm not going to go into it because, you know, YouTube wouldn't want me to explain to you how to make a timer, for fuck's sake. But yeah, they were worked with timers, and they only had so much time. They had to get rid of it. You couldn't just drive back into your thingy, you know what I mean? And I don't think some of these guys that actually were delivering the bombs weren't actually the bomb makers. You know, you'd understand why, you know. I'll rewind and see what you've been saying. I do think. No, I'm just saying that you've started doing videos, and, you know, I'm talking about guys that are doing videos around these areas, and maybe that's something that you could do for us. If you could go around some of these areas and show people in Scotland, not Scotland, they know now, they're fucking, I'll show you some more. But in Northern Ireland, no point showing Ireland anything, but us, sure, that's Northern Ireland. We're not too bad at the minute. Truly what it's like, you know. All that buckfast John Rankin runs through you, man. I've been smoking for the last 50 years. I love smoking. The British Army sold them duff timers. Yeah, I think they made their own timers, to be honest with you. Yeah. And then they went into mercury switches and all that kind of carry on, tilt switches and all that, you know what I mean? They were good. They were good at it, like, you know. I think Martin McGee won it. He was one of their best bomb makers as far as I'm aware, you know what I mean? You know, I think that's public knowledge, like, to be honest with these guys, you know what I mean? Don't shoot the messenger. I think he was responsible for the Brighton bomb, to be honest with you, but when they tried to kill Maggie Thatcher. Pretty sure, Buckfast rocket fuel. Patrick Shields, MI5. MI5 are everywhere, guys, are everywhere. That's what's needed. I used to smoke, give up 6 years ago. Yeah, for bloody. I'm trying, but, you know, right this minute, you know, sometimes I need a wee fag, you know what I mean? 1 hour and 22, we're doing all right, aren't we? I missed the live last night, so I'm not going to go anywhere too quick. I used to smoke, give up 6 years ago. Well done, mate, for bloody. When you're ready. Okay. Oh. Deary me. Right. So, live chat. Hopefully more wake up. Sorry, Freedom Dad, at least Ireland are fighting back. The numbers are stronger than the North, to be honest. It's not about that, mate. Believe it or not, it's not. It's because Ireland is getting decimated. There's nowhere hardly now being untouched by abuse. Things are happening. Like, it's really bad, really, really bad. These people aren't coming out in numbers, please believe me, just because they don't like foreigners. They're coming out in numbers because they don't like what's happening on the streets by people that's coming into their country. We are not at that stage yet. We're just starting to see that. So we are with, like, Ballyholme, Woodfield, Lisburn, Road the other night. You know, think 3 or 4 foreigners arrested, blades, big massive blades involved, running into a pub where people were just sitting, eating food and having a drink and causing all sorts of mayhem. I mean, that could have been pear-shaped. Glad to say the men have been remanded. As far as I know, they've been remanded, which wouldn't happen in England. These guys would have been let out in England, you know. And that's the difference, you see, in Northern Ireland. I think, you know, we've got a justice system that doesn't mess about, you know, with stuff like this. We have a justice system still that treats everybody the same. So it doesn't matter what country you come from. You come in here and you start running about with knives, you're going to prison. End of story, you know. And I wouldn't expect any less. I wouldn't expect any man to get cheap bail for running into a pub with members of the public stabbing people, stabbing each other, you know what I mean? So that's the difference between us and mainland and Ireland, I think, you know. Don't think you'll ever stop that, mate, but try to take control again, enough the people, again, through the people we elect. Yeah, that's the kicker. We can see what happens when the wrong people are elected. And I know I keep going on about it like a stuck record, guys, you know what I mean? But it is important. Don't think you'll ever stop. Yeah, we got that. Just let me do this, guys. Yeah, so any questions, boys and girls, just throw some out there. I'll do my best to answer them. So we can. So yeah, content is, like I say, DP are just guilty as Sinn Féin. Yeah, well, you know, these people won't get voted in. Please believe me. They know that. You know, they know that. You know, what is a tracker mortgage? You're asking the wrong person that question, buddy. James, me and my pals were pulled by terrorist police in London back in the 80s, loading a van under a streetlight. One cop said, this is going to be a joke, isn't it? One cop said they looked like cakes. My Pat said, do you think we are Mr. Kipling? They left red-faced. It wasn't a joke. It probably really did happen, didn't it? Where's a mess, man? Just got a cut the other day. What day is after the day tomorrow? So is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Someone tell me why they never built the bridge between Ireland and GB. I can tell you all why. Okay, we'll wait for your reasoning for that one. I've been to Ballyholme Beach while up visiting relatives. What happened there? Thought that's a posh area. Yeah, but they travel. They're traveling to these beaches, you know what I mean? What's the best party for us to vote for? Who will bat both sides of the fence? I can't tell you that right now because we don't know. You know what I mean? No way would I throw any names out there until I know what their stance is. Yeah, I'm sure most of our wine lodges would sell Buckfast over here. It's not something I drink, like, or ever drunk, you know. Like I say, I don't really drink. I mean, I have a couple of cans now and again. Haven't been drunk or nothing like in a long time, a very long time. But it's not a bad thing. When I came back from Germany, I had a left-hand drive car and pulled up by the police. Asked my over-the-limit friend for a test. He was red-faced when realised. Yeah, too early, John. Yeah, 100%. We need to wait, but you know, like I say, we don't have much time. Like, but this is another thing people don't realise. Everybody sort of panics a wee bit when they see these hotels going up and like the amount of money that we've actually forked out right now on hotels and how it's growing and how it's a lot bigger than we actually think because it's been well hidden. A lot of people, all I say to people right now is relax, don't worry about it because the right politicians will sort it, you know. And like I always say to these illegal immigrants, enjoy it while you can because it's not going to last, you know. You're no coming in and taking our houses because you've got people, Irish developers coming in and buying our houses up just so they can make money from housing you guys. Them houses are our houses, you know what I mean? There should be our people in them houses, and that's just the way it is. We've got people in the streets, we've got kids sitting in still by their mothers and fathers because they can't get a house, you know what I mean? Because we've got people, developers coming in, buying up all the cheap houses and then putting them out at ridiculous prices because the government are paying ridiculous prices and therefore pushing up the rest of the housing prices. You know, that all needs to change. I know, where is Ragnar? I haven't seen Ragnar in a while. Do you think this boat sunk or something? Do you think maybe he was on his way over here? Actually, Mr. Ragnar, so we do. Maybe there's too many people in the chat now. Maybe he thinks Freedom Dad's channel's got too big. You know? And he hasn't been about, because if he was about in anybody else's channel, we would hear. You know what I mean? He was in earlier. M&G had to dash. Maybe M&G's Ragnar. Eh? Yeah, you ever thought about that one, guys? Hey, John Capone. No, he's not been barred. Oh, there's somebody's been barred. Pinocchio Pete. We need to get him off barred. And I don't know how to do it. And it's really important that we get this sorted. So if anybody has any ideas, like, message me. If whoever can message me, tell me what to do. You know what I mean? How to get him, whatever's happened to him. Because he can't comment now. And he's just been picked up wrong. You know, that's all it is. Oh, you were talking to him, Ambi? Oh. Only I can do it. But if he's not commenting, I can't click on his name. I'll need to try and find him. I'll find him so well. I'll find him so well. I'll find a way of doing it. I'll get one of the young ones to show me. Need to let the cat in, guys. 2 seconds. Come on. Come you cat. Cat. Cats, guys. Bloody cats. You ever thought Freedom of Dad would be around cats? Jeez, oh. Go into your subs and unblock him yourself. Right, James, okay. I'll get one. I'll get one of the boys to do it for me. The young ones. I don't even know how to do that. A cat. No, 2. One with only 3 legs. I swear to God. Game is a badger too. It's always wanting to fight this one. Can you see her? No, she's too lazy. She's too lazy. No, she's shy. M&G, you know. Why? They're not that bad. Mate, you and Pushy isn't working. Fucking definitely. We can't do it from this end, buddy. I tried. Okay, mate, no problem. I'll sort it out. Nothing wrong with that. I have a cat. I know, we're just having a laugh. Cats are alright. They don't bother me. Like, they keep the mice down, don't they? You know? Freedom Dad Shry, S-R-Y. At Freedom Dad, sorry. No, that's Hedgehog. I was feeding all last year. Has come back. Oh, nice one. Nice one, mate. Telger feeds a fox. He feeds a fox every night. Every night. Come to his house. So did I until one forced itself on me. I'll tell you about my mate. So that he had a cat and he got it put down. It was heartbreaking, you know what I mean? I went over, one of my neighbours, and was like, you know, because he really loved this cat. Yeah, Piers Morgan. Yeah, I don't want to mention that guy's name. I hate him. Not hate him, like, but I just don't. He's not a nice person. He's a bad person. You know, really bad person. And God knows what he's done. He's up there with the worst of the worst. I think, to be honest with you, I really do. Max, like with Maxwell and all that. You know what I mean? Stormer and all the rest, the BBC mob and all that. You know what I'm talking about. That's why Piers Morgan is the way he is, because he's compromised. He's got no choice, you know. I put the motion camera out tonight, fingers crossed. Yeah, good. What was I going to say there? I was going to say something there. It's just something random. See, the numbers are going down. Postman Pat loves cats, especially black and white ones. So yeah, like I say, guys, there'll be content coming out this week. Just the usual, my usual videos. I don't know how many videos I'm on now. I'm over 500, I know that. Yeah, I know you're only joking, James. I'm going to read that out. So I'm not. But yeah, very good. Well, I better read it out because not everybody's getting to see the comments. James Cahill, I used to feed a pussy but ended up giving her half of everything. Smiley, smiley face, only joking. So I hope you are all good, guys. Like I say, I'm all good. Couple of no too bad days. Tomorrow's going to be different, and the run up to the protest or the demonstration, whatever you want to call it. Used to have some bloke dressed as Postman Pat and Harry Ramsden's. Children's were terrified. I need to hear bro chat. I'm going to end up soon now. Battery savers coming on as well. First, protect our borders. Second, trace and deport on illegals while tracking down the parking stand grooming gangs. Third, any ideas? First, protect our borders. Second, trace and deport on illegals while tracking down the parking stand grooming gangs. Third, any ideas? Third is just like build our communities up again, bring down the two cap child thing, and encourage people to have children and promote it and support them, and fix our churches and have better youth clubs and get rid of the drugs. You know what I mean? We could go on and on. It's very easy to fix our society and our community the way we want it. It's not rocket science. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go. It's an hour and 36. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take this in out so I am for a wee walk. So I'll give it an hour, 5 minutes or so. So he's going to say goodbye and that and drop off. Thanks for coming on. Like I say, the main topic tonight was what we need to do to protect our country and save our kids. You know what I mean? And it is all pretty simple stuff. We need to get the right political party in. We can't do it broken up. We can't have all these different political parties because that's not going to work, because that's going to allow a left-wing party, far left-wing party to come in with the support of immigrants or refugees who have now got citizenship to vote for them, because we know how it works. That's how it works in England. And we need to make sure that we have some sort of laws in place that stop political leaders' land to get into power. So they got to stand by their words. So they're the main things we need to do. We need to make sure that we don't allow foreigners to vote and to be involved in our politics, because they don't come in, they're not contributing. If you've been here sort of 5 years and you're contributing and you're paying your taxes and stuff like that, then yeah, I think you should have a say in whatever community you're in. I'm not saying a blanket wide ban on anybody that came from another country. There is foreigners that come into our country and integrate and become part of our community, whether it be Protestant community or Catholic community. They do integrate, the same as in Scotland. I've seen loads of foreigners that have came from foreign countries and they've been here for so long and they speak with English or British or Scottish accents and they integrate and there's no problems. So, I'm not saying a blanket ban. What I'm saying is you can't just come into a country and then decide what political party is going to be in charge, or let a political party use these people to get them into power, because that's what Sinn Féin are doing. And we've got to be very wary of that, because that is the most dangerous thing that can happen to us, to all of us, you know what I mean? So yeah, we've learned a lot from what we're seeing in England and Scotland. So I'm going to bring you tomorrow. I'm going to bring you a video tomorrow about Scotland, about the direction Scotland's going in, about what happens when you change the politics. And then we'll do one in England, and then we'll maybe touch on Wales as well, and then there's going to be some hard hitting videos coming this week to the build up to Time to Rise, which again is on Saturday the 17th, this Saturday, 2 p.m. outside Belfast City Hall, and all Protestants and Catholics and Southerners and anybody that wants to come and support us in what we're trying to do, make the government aware that we're not happy and we're not standing for it. And we are the people that have been born, bred and raised in this country. Our mothers, our fathers and our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers have laid down the foundations that we walk on today. And how dare they? How dare they come and try and break them up? How dare they just bring people into this country that's going to hurt our children, hurt our women, after everything we've been through? So it's time to rise. That's the name of the demonstration. And, it's quite fitting. And it's time to rise up off your seat. It's not the time to rise up and fight, or it's nothing like that. It's time to rise up off your seat. Get your jacket, grab your flag, and come to the Belfast City Hall, 2 p.m. on Saturday. Listen, guys, I'm doing all I can. I'm doing the best I can with the little resources I have. And like I say, I'm not a politician. There's nothing special about me. I've seen a lot, and I know stuff in my head that scares the life out of me for my wee daughter. And right now I'm trying to find a place for her. That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to find a place for my daughter. And my only hope and best hope is Northern Ireland right now. Okay, that's it, guys. So help me, please help me make Northern Ireland a safe future for my daughter and my granddaughters and my grandchildren that come when I'm no longer here. When I'm no longer here to help or do anything about anything, when we're all gone, we need to make sure that my wee Lucky and her children are safe. That's it. So please help. Please be there on Saturday. Say hello to me. Say hello to Lindsay. Say hello to Orla. Give Orla a big hug. If you're a Protestant, let her know you're a Protestant. Give her a big hug. Tell her she's welcome here. This is important, guys. These little things are important. These girls are taking such a risk. They're taking so much flack. They're being attacked from all directions. You don't know the half of it. I speak to them every day, especially Lindsay, 10 times a day sometimes, you know what I mean? And really, this girl's under a lot of pressure. So any help you can give, you got the GoFundMe there, guys, and it's all money that will go into getting speakers and everything that we need and whatever that we need to do to rise up off our seats and stand and be counted, So thank you all so much for sitting and listening to this. All you that are catching this, that it isn't live. Sorry you missed it live. I know I'll go on a wee bit, and it's not. This is just a conversation with my friends. It's just a bit of crack sometimes and a chat. You know what I mean? It's not, just whatever you ask me, I sort of talk about. You know what I mean? And it can be anything. The lives are just a bit of crack. You know what I mean? You're not going to really get much from a live, I don't think. Personally, I don't think so. Do not allow your children to be sold out of the country and freedoms. Yeah. You will look well in that, Marty. I don't know what you're talking about. Right, guys, I'm going to go. Number 73 has just appeared, so that's my time to go. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for the support. Thank you all so much for the love. But most of all, thank you all so much to the Catholics, because I know this is a difficult time for anybody, for a Protestant to listen to a Republican, for a Catholic to listen to a loyalist. It's a really difficult time. So I've got so much respect for your intelligence and your understanding, because you're standing out. You're standing out from the rest. And sometimes it's only us that can see it. So, but please believe me, even if you're getting a bit of flack or some people who don't agree with you, time will change. We went through this back in the day, getting called a racist, the far right and all the rest of it, or you may be called a traitor because you're listening to a Protestant. That will all change. Stand your ground. You'll see them one by one changing around you, and you'll stand out because you will be one of the first ones. You're out there in the front. You're out there in the front. So fair play to these. So much respect to these. And like I say, my community's been pretty like this for a wee while. It's, I'm not having to do much work with my community. There is certain parts of my community that still needs a wee bit of work. But be honest with you, us Protestants, we stopped all this years ago. We've never been the aggressors, guys. We haven't, you know what I mean? And that's the truth. And only people that lived here, that's lived it and breathed it, know what I'm talking about, without poking the bear or annoying anybody. But, like I say, my job is not hard in my community. My big problem is the dissidents and their hardcore beliefs and wanting to keep going and driving this fucking wedge between us and pushing the hatred and sending their young men out onto the streets dressed in black to attack our areas and all that. Obviously it's going to be a bit harder, but I do believe, like I say, one by one, people will start turning. Freedom all not be saying that on the 11th. Well, you're welcome to come over to see. I'm going to leave that there with you. There's going to be YouTubers coming over here, okay? Please believe me. We've invited YouTubers, right? Some big YouTubers to come over. And, yeah, so it's going to be recorded and documented. I'll be going live. The YouTubers getting free access to everywhere. We're not hiding nothing. We're being transparent. So you judge us on the 11th. You tell me what you think of us on the 11th and the 12th of July. Like I say, any Catholics that want to come and enjoy it, let me know. It'll be an experience you'll never experience, probably. You'll never experience. You know what I mean? And what can I say? Here's a Protestant in a loyalist area inviting Catholics to our bonfire celebrations. And freedom, Dad. God bless.